Hey guys, welcome back. I'm glad you decided to tune back into this. So I wanted to roll back to chapter 19 first before we really get started. In chapter 19, I stated that it was Peter whom Jesus called the one that he loved. In reality, it was John. You think it would have been very obvious because we were reading in the book of John, but to me it wasn't obvious. I assumed it was Peter because Peter was always at the forefront of things. You know, the one who jumped on the walked out on the water to meet Jesus, the one who said he'd never deny him, the one that was very vocal. But in reality, it was John who was the one that Jesus loved. Or he at least called himself the one he loved. The reason why I know this is because I was watching Elevation Church online on their YouTube channel. I was watching Steve Furtick speaking on the exact same topic that I was talking on. And he stated that it was John. And to think about, like, Jesus probably told all of his disciples that they are the one he loved, but it was John who was like blatantly like, I am the one I'm loved by Jesus. I don't even have to say my name because we all know it's me. So, now, okay, so I just wanted to straighten that matter out because I know people will watch it and be like, actually it was John. Now, moving on, we're gonna go to chapter 20. But as a small recap, you know, Jesus died. Now what? Does the story just end? Period? Done? No, not a chance does it end. Yes, he did die, but in chapter 20 we see Mary Magdalene. She's going to the tomb. She's bringing more incense. She's ready just to, like, kind of make him smell better because he's been in there for 3 days. He's gonna stink. And it was her way of mourning, and she just wanted to be close to Jesus again. But she gets to the tomb. The stone has been rolled away, and the body's gone. She freaks out. Like, who moves a body? Who just dies? Let's just move it. Let's hide it on them. That's exactly what she thought. Somebody just hid the body. Because they thought that other people would remove it or something and then make it look like Jesus was alive. So she thought that they just took him and moved him so that they would never know where Jesus' body was again, because they didn't know that he was going to come back. Oh, sorry, spoiler alert. He's coming back. Now, she obviously runs right back to the disciples, and she's just like knocking hardcore, like, guys, he's gone. And Peter and another disciple, like, they dash out the door, but as they get closer, Peter slows down. You know, maybe he was a little nervous, maybe he was a little scared that she was right and Jesus wasn't there, or he just didn't know what to do, or he didn't want to see it. Not yet. So the other disciple makes it first, but he actually doesn't go in. The other disciple looks in, and then Peter just barrels past him and goes straight in to find that the wrappings are all there, but the body isn't. So they don't know what to do either, and they kind of leave, but Mary had followed behind them, and she's left there alone crying. It's not until she hears a voice inside the tomb. There are two angels. And they ask her, you know, woman, why are you crying? And she's just saying, well, they took my Lord and I don't know where they took him. And she turns around and there's this guy sitting here. John says it's Jesus, but at this point, Mary doesn't know that. She thinks it's just the gardener, and Jesus, the gardener, asks her again, woman, why are you crying? And she just asks him, if you know where they have taken him, please tell me where. I just want to see him. That's it. I'm not going to do anything. And it's not until he says Mary, calls her by name, that she realizes, oh my gosh, like, he's alive. So I don't know how he changed his appearance, but I don't think he did. I think she's just so distraught, she couldn't recognize him. Now, obviously, he tells her a few things and, like, basically says to her, like, go tell the disciples I am alive. I have risen. No questions asked, she takes off running. I wouldn't ask either. I mean, like, he just came back from the dead. Like, he is obviously the Son of God. So I would run too to give the message. And she does. She runs right back and she's like, Jesus is alive. And they're like, man, woman crazy. So they think, like, she's a little crazy. She's been so distraught lately. But then Jesus appears to all of the disciples, but Thomas. Thomas is not there. We don't know where he is. Maybe he's off getting groceries. Maybe he had to go buy some new shoes. We don't know. He's just not there. So Jesus appears, and All he has to do is appear, show them the wounds, and they're all like, whoa, he's alive. So you weren't kidding when you said that you were you were coming back. They all thought he was joking. Jesus doesn't joke. I mean, he probably did, but not about the absolutely serious things. So Thomas gets back and they're all like, man, Thomas, Jesus is alive. And he's like, I'm not gonna believe that until I see him and I see the wounds and I like stick my fingers in them. Okay, he didn't say quite like that at all. He probably didn't talk like that at all. But anyway. And so 1 week later, the doors are all locked. Like, nobody could get in. Jesus appears in there, and he's standing in front of Thomas like, I'm here. Here's my hands. Here's my sides. Put your finger, like, touch them. And Thomas is like, no, I see you. I believe. I don't need to touch. And Jesus kind of comes right back and says, blessed are those who believe, but have not seen. Because isn't it easier to believe in something if you've seen it? But to believe in something that you've never seen and that you can still kind of have some doubt about, it's like, to Jesus, it was far better that people believed and they didn't see him than the people who saw him and believed. Because even if you saw him, sometimes they didn't believe. So blessed are those who have not seen, yet still believe. That would be basically the last, like, 2,000 years. You know, give or take like 15 years or something. But for the basic part, that's like the last like 2,000 years. People have not seen him, yet we still believe in him. So he calls us blessed because we don't get that opportunity to just have him come knocking on our door and have like a little lunch or go to a restaurant and hang out, to go down on the walk on the street with him and speak with him directly. We don't have that. Whereas the disciples and the people of that age, they had that. And then they had the first-hand witnesses that they could just talk to. But then we don't even have that. We have nobody to directly speak to who has seen him or walked with him. Instead, we just have the Bible, and we have to go on what most people hate to call it is blind faith. In reality, I would rather believe the Christian faith than to believe nothing at all. Because as my grandmother always told us, if you believe in God and heaven and all that stuff, and it's not true, it's not real, you don't really lose anything. Because either way, we're dying. But if you don't believe, and it was true, then you've lost all of eternity. You've lost everything. So to leave it on that note, I want you guys to really just think about it. Not so much the gruesomeness of dying on the cross, but the fact that he did it. And then he came back from it. Because he didn't just come back, he defeated the devil. And then he came back. So today is going to be a lot shorter, but anyway, I'll talk to you guys next week. And see you later. Have a good week.